What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So Bitcoin altcoins took a nice little tumble over the weekend. We've had some few things that popped up in the news with crypto projects, a few things that are happening this week. I want to try to get you guys laced up with some information and charts to get you guys back on track. And hopefully we can have a little pep talk about a few things that we may have to come to terms with as investors in crypto projects that we're in. There may be some things that we may have to cut out of our portfolio. I think this is the reality of the situation that we're in. I think I've done a pretty good job of keeping my community laced up with, things that are happening in this sector. But at the end of the day, guys, there are a lot of things that are just simply out of my control, and a lot of the other content creators that you watch, guys. I think there's people out there that will always talk about the good and the successes that they had, but rarely a lot of people ever talk about the failures and the things that they did not accomplish. I think, not that I'm throwing any snubs on anybody, but, a lot of people are gravitating towards Benjamin Cowan, probably one of the best crypto analysts that are out there. But, look, back in the last cycle, a lot of people got hurt because of the price predictions that he gave. And now he's been more of a conservative, outlet for crypto, people in his audience, which nothing wrong with that. But it just goes back to, where I'm trying to make the point at is that, look, in this market, nobody knows what's going to happen. Not even the elites. I mean, look at Eric Trump. We've had so many different politicians and people that's come into this space like Tom Lee and give us these astronomical price predictions, and they've not yet to come to pass. And I think that, with the whole ETFs and everybody that was, really excited about institutionals coming in and pumping our bags, and then we actually get here and then we actually get hit with something totally different. I think a lot of people are just kind of scratching their heads like, man, I feel like I got duped. And maybe in a way we did. But I really think that at the end of the day, the only ones that will really get duped are the ones that give up now. I think the best time to sell was yesterday. I did a really good job of letting people know 102.5 was the place to get out at, and I did a wellness check on my Discords, let them know, hey, look, a couple of days ago that I think this might be a time to reevaluate portfolios, maybe divest out of a few things. Sure enough, the day later, we end up getting a massive drop with Bitcoin. And now people are kind of like scrambling, like, oh my God, what's happening? Well, again, guys, we're here at that crossroads again. Decisions will have to be made. Is the right altcoin that you have in your portfolio, is it going to be a winner? Is it not going to be a winner? I don't know. You don't know. Chances are the person that you watch on YouTube doesn't know either. This is where you come into play. This is where you have to continually ask yourself, are you overly invested? Do you have too many low caps? Has this coin ever showed any glimmer of hope? If the answer is yes to a lot of these questions and maybe no to a lot more, you need to really make a decision. I can't make that for you, and nobody on YouTube can do it for you either. But the thing that I can suggest and the things that I will suggest is that, look, there are altcoins that have more promise than others. There are coins that will probably go to zero, but it's good to have less of certain assets that are high risk. And let's be real, all crypto is high risk, but there's some that are super high risk. I think holding meme coins right now is not the way to go. I think people should be positioned in cash and also be positioned in strong layer ones. ETH and Bitcoin should most definitely be part of your portfolio, XRP as well, but in moderations. If you are trying to flip rent, if you're trying to, be in the next Warren Buffett overnight, I don't think it's going to work out for you. So again, guys, please, just a little pep talk before we begin. I just wanted to, do my due diligence and let the communities know, like, look, I'm here for you guys, but at the end of the day, you got to be here for you. Anytime you watch my videos, I always recommend, guys, please have a pen and paper handy, write notes down, pause the video, ask questions in the comment section. Use the fact that I'm a smaller YouTuber to your advantage. I'm trying to get myself up there. I desperately try to answer as many questions that I can. Use that to your advantage. A lot of other YouTubers, look, they're just out here for the views. A lot of people get paid commissions and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that. But this is not a cash grab. I actually care about what I do. And like I said, I hope that you guys take my warnings and you guys really pay attention. Don't skip through stuff. Don't fast forward things because you're too lazy to want to learn. The people that put the effort in, the people that study, the people that want to survive will survive. The ones that are lazy and want things given to them, they won't make it. Just like when you go to the gym. People that go to the gym that are trying to, cut corners, that use steroids, yeah, they may end up having some success in the short term, but the long term, they end up getting exposed and things don't end up turning out right. So again, guys, look, I may not have the most visual appealing setup. I may not talk like a financial advisor, but I've been in this market a long time. I've seen stuff that most people have not. I have a pretty good track record of keeping it real. I share my wins. I share my losses. I have my share of both. But at the end of the day, guys, look, I have a mindset of a winner. I am a winner. And look, you can either take that or not. The choice is yours. So real quick, guys, let's get in some news. Enough rambling, guys, but I just had to let you guys know that. If that sounds good, please let me know something in the comment sections below. Let's get into this. Okay, so Bitcoin logs its fourth consecutive monthly decline for the first time since 2018. Okay, guys, I had to slap my headphones on. We've talked about this many times, guys. Look, we've had very much a lot of similarities to 2018, 2019. I pointed that out a few videos a while back ago. Look, August, September, October, November, December, and then January. And here we are, guys. We've been red since October. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're heading into February. Now, we're still early in February. There's a lot of time left, in this month. Maybe we might see a reversal to the upside. It's kind of hard to tell right now. We have a lot of negative catalysts ahead of us, guys. In my opinion, I think we may I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, maybe bleed out until maybe March, April, and maybe see some type of relief rally around May, June, July, even August. Remember, we have midterms in November. Typically, these really are bear markets within this time, guys. But look, again, I don't like talking politics here, guys, but unfortunately, politics have invaded, cryptocurrency, and they're very much in tune with what we've got going on. So we got to do it. I'm sorry. Hate him or love him. Look, Donald Trump is looking to win, midterms for the Republicans, regardless of whatever the news is saying. I know people are saying that Republicans have absolutely no shot in winning. Look, I don't care, really. I think that, the best position for it, if you're trying to take the most safest route, would be looking to get out of crypto before November even hits. So regardless of whoever wins, who gives a damn, be looking to get out of here between somewhere September, October. If you do think that, we might have some type of bearishness, going forward. Remember, Trump has to do something to make the markets come back, before midterms. You cannot tell me that us going into a declining economy, guys, into midterms, that's going to make the Republicans look good. Like I said, again, we have to kind of turn the political hats off, and think realistically as an investor. Trump really does care a lot about the stock market. I know there's at times where he seems like he does not, but trust me, I can guarantee, that he does. And if we go into there, with, recessionary, conditions, all these different asset classes, beat down to crap, the chances of Republicans winning are just even more diminished than what they already are. So, that's my thesis. That's what I'm holding on to. At the end of the day, look, you can have your own path or whatever content creator you watch. If you got somebody that you watch that's just a negative Nancy, that we're just going to be bearish, until 2030, then hey, you do you. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm looking for some type of reversal between, April, May, and June. So that's how I'm playing it. That's why the buys that I'm making, guys, are very strategic. I'm trying to make sure that I'm buying slowly. I'm very known for making heavier buys, but at the same time, guys, I'm trying to make sure that the buys are a lot more conservative, trying to time them a lot more accurately, okay? Also, Tom Lee just got a job at McDonald's. Breaking news. I'm just playing. But look, I think Fundstrap is down almost $7 billion. That's a lot of money. So I'm pretty sure people are looking for Tom Lee. Tom Lee's looking a little stressed out over here. So let's say a prayer for our boy Tom Lee. Real quick, let's see. We got some crypto news real quick. Over the weekend, Solana founder Anatoly unfollowed CZ. There's been a lot of controversy going on between, CZ and Binance. I'm thinking, look, guys, if you've been in crypto and you've been following me at least, guys know I've been keeping you guys laced up with this whole Binance situation. They've been kind of leading the forefront of all this pump and dump stuff, guys, constantly sending coins to, to be sold off through Wintermute. It's been really gruesome, guys, so it's been kind of being called out. Also, guys, if you're not following me on X, please make sure you use the links below. Follow me. I try to stay up to date with some stuff. I should be posting a little bit more on there, but right now YouTube gets all my all my attention right now. But we do have the Ondo Finance Summit coming up in a couple of days. It's going to be February 3rd. We've talked about this many times, guys. Look, they've got all the big dogs: Citibank, Visa, Swift, Galaxy Digital, Fidelity, PayPal, Citadel, VanEck, NASDAQ, Pantera Capital, all the big dogs, man. Everybody that you can think of will be there at that summit. It's kind of crazy that we're going into there with, Ondo being down almost 90%. But look, things can change on the dime. So, like I said, this is a cryptocurrency that I hold. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm down on it. But, hey, look, I'm DCing on this thing. I believe in it. I think that, eventually when all this stuff does level out, Ondo Finance will hopefully solidify itself in being a winner. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's start hitting some altcoins. I know you guys are probably getting antsy. You guys just want to get, levels and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Please make sure you have your pen and paper. Again, I'm not telling you guys to buy at these levels, but I'm telling you guys to watch these levels. All right, so first up, we got Solana Big Banana up on the chart. We're looking at the weekly time frame, guys. Obvious downturn since Trump's taken office. I've gone on the record saying that in my personal opinion, guys, I think that we may have even been in a bear market since January of last year. Notice how we've had an all-time high. We came back down here during Liberation, came back up for a retest back here in September, failure, rejection, down. So if we've been in a bull market, guys, like a true bull market, wouldn't have Solana try to make a new all-time high? Remember, cryptos are us. All the big players were saying that a Solana was going to $1,000. I remember I've been probably one of the most consistent dudes, always saying that I was looking for a $350 to $400 Solana. I was nowhere near some of these crazy price predictions. Remember, back in 2023, guys, Solana was back over here in this area around almost $10. And then, look, since then, it took off like a rocket. A lot of people got in around this area, ended up going to $100. They got their first 10x and they ended up doing a 30x. So there was a bull market, guys. It was back in 2023. A lot of people showed up really late to the show. They made some pretty good gains on it. But like I said, influencers, a lot of the bigger content creators were putting out this $1,000 price predictions. And, sadly, some people still watch these content creators, guys. Very sad. But like I said, look, Solana is still a darling of Wall Street. But the thing is, though, we want to get it on a discount. Right now, it's at $98. It's back at this order block. But I don't want to buy it there. I have a limit order set up here around $77. And in between, even here at $50. Now, look, some people are like, there's no way, Jump, it's going to go to $50. Look, there's always going to be something that will happen. All it takes is a tweet. All it takes is some type of war or any type of crazy announcement. And you can find out real quick how these altcoins can fall another 20, 30, 40% on the quickness. So look, $77, that's about 21% down. Very easy work. If you want to start taking positions now, not bad. But like I said, for me, I'd rather wait till $80 at least to start loading up and then putting some heavier buy orders down here at $50. Okay. Next one is going to be Ondo Finance. This was the one that I told you guys. If you guys had been paying attention to me, I said where it wicks, it sticks. Set those buy orders at 25 cents. I said that on numerous live streams. Yesterday, we touched down to 25.60. So if you would have took me up on that, you would still be up about 5% even right now as we speak. Okay, now look, can this thing go lower? Of course. Look, on our liberation low, that's where we hit down here to 25.61. We exactly tapped it yesterday, had a bounce from there. So if we break, there's not much data. This would be probably in price discovery to the downside. So be very careful in where you buy and how much you buy at these levels. I recommend, guys, please, on your DCAs, keep them about maybe 5%, 10%. When we go heavy on drops, you buy heavier, but at the end of the day, you got to make sure that you protect your capital. Make sure that if you have a lot of coins, you're divesting into them properly. You don't want to be kind of playing favoritism between coins. Remember, the more coins you have in your portfolio, the harder it is to do this, okay? So keep that on your radar. As far as like where to be selling at, guys, look, maybe we come back up here, we get a relief rally during the middle of the year, maybe back at 50 cents, even back here around 47 cents. That might be a quick 2x. If you guys are looking just to get in and get out, wham, bam, good night. Hey, I'm not mad at you guys, but I'm at least trying to get back up here to at least $1. That's a 4x for me. Look, I'm in it for long term. I'm trying to get those long-term capital gains, 10%. Okay? So that's just me. Next up is going to be Avalanche, guys. Look, Avalanche is at a generational buy order, in my opinion, guys. Another coin that we talked about at 878 is where it came down on October. Again, another coin that I talked about that I believe that they're going to try to attack the lows. I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we get one last push down, get us back down here to around this 860. I've told some of the people that are trading in my Discord to set some order limits there around that area and see if they snag. So right now we got pretty good support right here at 912. We came down here, I think a wick down right there, got ate up pretty good. But we even have orders down here, guys, around this $5-6. This was back here in October of 2023. Again, I always got to tell you guys, around October, this was when the bull market began. A lot of people are just like not understanding this. Again, this is when the bull market began for a lot of these altcoins. Okay, this altcoin ran up almost 600% from there. When Trump took office, guys, it's been in a downturn. There's no denying that. So, look, this is a great coin. Avalanche has a lot of tokens tokenized on their balance sheet, billions. So I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Now, does a price action reflect that? Of course not. But like I said, guys, I'm in it for the long term. I've been loading up. I know a lot of people are like, man, Jump was buying here at 14, 15, 16. That's fine. Look, at the end of the day, don't worry about me. Worry about you. Like I said, I know what I'm doing. I'm not trying to time the top. I'm not trying to time the bottom. I'm trying to add to my positions. And I have a pretty good line of cash to deploy whenever things go down. Okay, so the key of the game is long term. Now that we're here in this situation, guys, we should be thinking 1 year. Try to get those long term capital gains. Okay, so look, order and breaker block. Set those up. Set those orders up around that $8 zone that I was telling you guys about, and even back down here at 757. Okay. Ethereum, real quick, guys. Tom Lee said that we would be coming down here to 2,400. Right now, we're at 22. So Tom Lee's been just kind of getting it upside the head for a little bit. Tom Lee needs to be careful, man. He's been getting a lot of bad juju. We're gonna have to get his picture real quick. I'm sorry. We'll get right back to it. All right, we're gonna have to put Tom Lee right here real quick. We're gonna put Tom Lee up here. That way we can. All right. So Tom Lee's integrated into our chart. In my personal opinion, guys, down here, 1,800, 1,700 will be probably where our bottom at might be for Ethereum. I have some buy orders set down here, and even some back down here at this liberation low at 1,400. Okay, so can we come back down here? Most definitely. But like I said, once we start breaking that 2,000 zone, I think this would be a generational buy area for investors. Currently on the 4 hour, we're massively oversold. Even on the weekly, massively oversold. Let me get rid of this real quick. It's kind of messing up my visuals here. So right here, April 25th, we came down here to 1400. We even have some support down here at 1000 down here in August of 2022. My personal opinion, I don't think we're going to go that low. Okay, but it doesn't hurt to have orders down there. But like I said, if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, 1400 is probably going to be the way to go. Okay. And XRP is going to be next, guys. This was one coin that I gave out that I, was telling people, look, set your buy orders up at 150. We got that good bounce there. But look, this is where I think the best price to get in for XRP is going to be $1.27. I think we're about almost 20% there. Yeah. So we're about 18% there. So I think this is going to be the best area to buy it, in my personal opinion. I mean, yeah, if things get rough, yeah, of course we can come down here to $1.07. But look, this is where I got my orders set up here. I'm starting to DCA a little bit. I got some more heavier orders down here at 127. Cardano. All right, check this out. Charles Hoskin said that he has some big news for the month of February. Back in 2022, we came down here around sub 20 cents. We're almost there, guys. We're, I think, about 17% there. So I'm taking positions now. I actually got a long, getting ready to hopefully get in soon. I'm looking around maybe 24 cents to start getting into a long position there. But I'm getting myself positioned up because, look, if there is a chance that we do see some type of rally, back in October, guys, we're at 80 cents. That's almost 250% return. Now, I'm not saying that we're getting there anytime soon, but I'm keeping an eye on it. And this is where I'm looking for a bounce at 24 cents on Cardano. And let's hit a couple stocks real quick, and then we're going to kill the video off. I don't want to have it too long. I know a lot of you guys, you don't like these long videos, but at the end of the day, I think it's best, okay? Circle, it's already hitting new lows, all-time lows. This is one that, in my opinion, should be part of somebody's long-term stock portfolio. I'm buying, loading up. Hey, look, I had some orders up here in the hundreds, but I was buying very lightly, not heavy. Now I'm starting to accumulate a little bit more aggressively down here in the zones. Remember, we still have the Clarity Act. Once we get that Clarity Act, we should be having maybe 20, 30% pumps. We could see, anything up here around 80, 90 bucks. And then from there, guys, if you want to sell off or you want to take profits, you do what you need to do. But again, I think this is one stock that, in time, it can go back up to $200 easy. This could be a nice, 2-3x in a couple years. I know a lot of people want to get rich overnight, but remember, guys, it's about long-term growth. So this is one that I'm added to my Roth IRA. This is one that I've been continually adding into it, regardless of the price, because I'm thinking long-term. Okay. Another one is going to be MicroStrategy. This one, I'm not buying it yet, guys. I'm actually looking to start probably putting some orders in around here, around 110, and even some crazy orders down here around $63. Okay. That's just me. Maybe we don't come down that low, but remember, I think that tomorrow, market bell open, I'm looking to see some price action to the downside, and I'm going to see if I can try to capitalize on some of this volatility. Alrighty, guys, I just wanted to get you guys set up for the week. A little bit longer of a video. I try not to make long videos like this because I know sometimes people just can't really process a lot of information, like that, and I get it because I'm like that too. I try to keep things short and sweet and simple, but look, it's a lot of coins. It's a lot of information. You guys are more than welcome to pause it, take a break, or you can listen to me while you're at work or whatever. But please, look, I don't like to beg people, but I beg you guys for you. Take the time to please, use the information that I'm giving you and try to make the best choices for you. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm trying to, grow, and I'm trying to help you guys out. But the only way this happens is that you got to put your foot forward and you got to make the choice. All right, guys, y'all stay blessed. We'll talk again soon. Jumpman out.